Nvidia delivered massive news that are sending the share prices of Serve Robotics and SoundHound AI stock lower by 40% and 30% respectively. In this video, I'm going to highlight what that news was, why this news is causing these two stocks to fall by as much as they are, and if this is a buying opportunity for SoundHound AI stock and Serve Robotics stock. So let's get into the details. So what I have pulled up here is the Form 13F information table that Nvidia filed for its period ending December 31st, 2024. But this information was just released. That's why the share prices of Serve Robotics and SoundHound AI stock are falling by as much as 40%. Let me share with you the details here. Serve Robotics stock is down 41% today, and SoundHound AI stock is down 27.6% today. And it's all a result of that 13F table that I showed you earlier. So let's go back to that. So here you see the Form 13F information table. And this is a table. It lists names of companies that Nvidia owns shares in. So you have here Applied Digital, ARM Holdings, Nebius Group, Recursion Pharmaceutical, and WeRide Inc. So what you notice is missing here is Serve Robotics and SoundHound AI, which Nvidia used to own shares in. Let me share with you the previous information table. So this was the information table report that Nvidia filed for the period that ended September 30th, so just 3 months before this one. And in that table, Nvidia included Serve Robotics and SoundHound AI. They had ownership interests in these two companies. And now, in the most recent report, those two companies are left out. And so, because they're no longer included in Nvidia's ownership table, they are now out, and that removal is the reason why the stock price is down by as much as they are, 41% and 27% respectively. So interestingly, several quarters before, when the news first came out that Serve Robotics and SoundHound AI were included in Nvidia's ownership table, that sent the share prices soaring. And at that point in time, I made a video saying that just because Nvidia owns these two companies doesn't mean that you should own them too. Companies like Nvidia and wealthy investors like Warren Buffett and Cathie Wood, they own stocks for several reasons, and not only because they think the stock is undervalued. So it could be strategic, it could be some other reason why they own shares of this business, and it doesn't mean that they're undervalued. Okay? And for the same reason, I'm going to say the same thing in this video in the opposite direction. Just as I said when I made the video when they owned it, I said if they were not to own it, I would say a similar thing. And I'm going to say it here. Just because Nvidia is dumping Serve Robotics and SoundHound AI doesn't mean that you should be dumping it too. Just because Nvidia is doing something doesn't mean that you should be doing something. Or just because Warren Buffett is doing something doesn't mean you should be doing something. I encourage investors always to do their own due diligence. And if they come to the conclusion that these investments are buys, are worth buying, then you should buy it. But I've come to my own conclusion. I've done research on these two, and I told investors not to buy these stocks. I've told investors not to buy these stocks for as long as I've been following them. Not because Nvidia owns it or doesn't own it, but on their own merits. The valuation of these companies were expensive relative to their prospects. They were excellent companies, very innovative in the AI categories that you want to be involved with, but it's just the valuations were too expensive. For SoundHound AI specifically, I've done a discounted cash flow valuation model for the company, and I found the intrinsic value per share to be worth $3.88. So even after this stock price decrease today, the current market price is $11 a share. I still think the stock is overvalued, and I don't think the stock is a buy. Now for Serve Robotics, I have not done a similar discounted cash flow valuation model. I've done other valuations of Serve Robotics, and I had come to the conclusion that the stock is also not a buy. And I last updated that on November 29th, saying that the company is excellent. I loved what it's trying to do, the delivery, food delivery with those little robots. And they're right in my area, right? I live in Los Angeles and they're everywhere. I see them all the time and they're pretty cool. But the valuation was just too high to justify rating Serve Robotics stock as a buy. By the way, if you want access to these spreadsheets, you can get access to both my buy, hold, and sell recommendations for over 125 companies and my discounted cash flow valuation spreadsheet that has, I don't know, over 50 companies now. You can get that with the channel membership at the investor tier. So back to my reasoning of when Nvidia owns or doesn't own a company, is that justification for buying, holding, or selling? And again, let me remind everyone that it's not a reason to panic and it's also not a reason to get excited. Let me remind you, these companies own businesses for several reasons, strategic mostly, and not because they think the shares are undervalued or overvalued. While this is unfortunate news for SoundHound AI stock investors and Serve Robotics stock investors, because if you own them, you probably lost considerable sums of money today, that doesn't make it a reason to panic and sell the stock. It also is not a reason to go out and buy the stock. Evaluate these companies on their own merits, see if they justify a purchase, and then make your decision then. I've done my own research, and according to my analysis, Serve Robotics and SoundHound AI are still too expensive to add to your portfolios, to add to my portfolios. So that's why the share prices are down, because Nvidia sold the stock. And then to answer if that makes them a buy, my answer is no. I still have them rated as a hold. Thank you for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. I know there's a lot you could be doing with your time and a lot of other videos you could be watching. So I truly appreciate that you chose to watch this one. If you want to see more videos just like this, hit the subscribe or the like button. They'll both help me make more videos just like this one. Thank you again.